Good morning. Good morning. That's better. I want to thank President Keach for her very generous and kind words of introduction. Madam President, I want you to know that my daddy would have appreciated everything that you just said about me, but my mama, bless her heart, she would have believed you. But more than thanking you for this introduction, I want to thank your president for her extraordinary leadership of this magnificent institution. During these 10 years, she has made an incredible difference, and not just here at Agnes Scott. I don't need to tell you, because of her work, our world is a better place because of her contributions. Let's give her another round of applause. And to my friend, my colleague, the chair of your Board of Trustees, Clyde Tuggle. I cannot say enough about Clyde and his contributions. And while this will be his last commencement as he retires as your chair of the board, I know that his heart and work will always be a part of Agnes Scott. Clyde Tuggle is someone who has not simply made a difference at the world of Coca-Cola. He's made a difference in our world community. He truly understands what it means to walk with kings and keep the common touch. So Clyde, thank you, thank you, thank you. But to incoming chair holder, to the other members of the Board of Trustees, to the faculty, to the administrators, to the family, to the friends, to all of the supporters who have gathered here today, but especially to the class of 2016, congratulations to each and every one of you. Muses, you did it! You did it! It has been said, you know, that graduations mark one of the 5 great milestones in life. The other 4 being birth, death, marriage, and the day that you finally pay off your student loans. So, thank you for allowing me to share in this important milestone with you. Graduates, many years ago, I sat where you're sitting today, a proud graduate of Xavier University of Louisiana. I remember that day with great enthusiasm. I remember my eagerness. I remember my anticipation. I even remember the parties that night. But what I don't remember is my commencement speaker. I hope that such a fate will not befall me today. But I do remember the advice that I got once from a very good friend. And he said to me, Alexis, commencement speeches should have good beginnings, good endings, and the two should be as close together as possible. So trust me, I know my place here today. I also know that the advice that I could give you would actually really pale in comparison to the advice and counsel that you've already received from the loved ones who have been with you on this journey today. Your parents, your grandparents, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your neighbors, all of them. Graduates, I want you to stand right now and give them a big round of applause because this is their day too. You wouldn't be here without them. You know, I was born and raised in Mobile, Alabama, and I know we've got a few Alabamians in the graduating class today. But I made my way here to Atlanta, Georgia, shortly after I graduated from Xavier University. I came here to make my way in the world. And while I've always said that I was born and raised in Mobile, I am truly a born-again Georgian. I love this city. I love this state. And when I moved here, I started a program that was called the Minority Women's Employment Program, along with my sister here who has joined me. And in that program, we had the opportunity to place the first women ever in white-collar jobs, in professional jobs in this city. These early women pioneers, they were the ones who literally shattered the glass ceiling at companies like Coca-Cola, Delta Airlines, Georgia Power. And while these women pioneers certainly had the issues and struggles of their day, more than 30 years later, I tell you, graduates, that you graduate into a world and to an economy that is very different from what those early pioneers experienced many years ago. Today, you graduate into an economy that is truly powered by knowledge. It is fueled by technology, and it is truly a global economy with global customers, global markets, and global talent. Talent that is mobile and that will really move around the globe today. And the reality is, what you know today is truly going to determine how far you will go. And while it may not always be about the Benjamins, it does matter. And so continuing to make that investment in your education, in your future, is all too important. And to take advantage of what you've learned here at Agnes Scott. And I love your motto, a college that truly educates women to think deeply, to live honestly, and to embrace the social and intellectual challenges of your times. And so for a few moments, allow me to reclaim a title that I used to have as Secretary of Labor, and that is as America's top job counselor. And allow me to help you not only build upon that motto, but let me give you just a few tips, 3 tips for today's labor market. And the tips that I want to give you are simply these. Stay informed, stay connected, and stay encouraged. Stay informed, stay connected, and stay encouraged. I say stay informed first because you know the old sage teaches us that you cannot lead where you do not go, and you cannot teach what you do not know. And so the importance of continuing to invest in education, to invest in knowledge, even though I know you're weary from just finishing those exams, you've got to keep keeping on if you're really going to make it in today's world. And the other reality is, when we talk about the need to be informed, I am not simply talking about academic knowledge. Understand what it means to live today in the world community and to embrace the principles of diversity and inclusion. Because you see, these principles will be more important to you than ever before. Here at Agnes Scott, you've had the opportunity to know many different races. You've gotten to know many different faces. And in this class, as your president has already said, you come from so many parts of the world: China, Poland, Bangladesh, South Korea, the Seychelles. You understand what it means to know other cultures, to know other languages, and to understand what it means to live in the world community. Continue to build on that knowledge. Don't let it go. Keep that spirit with you and embrace it always. And I want you to know that you really have to do your part to continue to bring down barriers of intolerance, barriers of discrimination, wherever you may meet them and see them. Because that is what is going to be required today if we're going to be called true citizens of this global community. And for those of you who are from the United States, from those 28 states that are graduating today, I hope that you know that this year, 2016, is perhaps one of the most important years in our nation's history. This year, in November, we will elect the next president of the United States. Graduates, you must let your voices and your vote count. You have to understand what is at stake. You have to stay informed. You have to stay engaged. And you have to know the candidate who is going to be about our issues as women. Issues that include equal pay for equal work. Issues that include giving us the right opportunity to have whatever job it is, we choose. And someone who understands what you know, that it's a very small but complex world today. And we have to know what it means to live as brothers and sisters, as one. As Dr. King always reminded us, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And so the ability to keep that banner high, it's on your shoulders now. It's on your shoulders. You know, I love the quote from Sojourner Truth, a slave woman and one of the early suffragettes. As a matter of fact, Sojourner Truth was the first woman to vote in this country. And she said, you know what? Campaigning don't count. Only voting do. So I hope that you will remember those words in November. I hope that you will honor your heritage. I hope that you will honor your values. I hope that you will honor this institution and do what you have to do. Because you see, every generation has to decide for itself what it means to be an American. For me, I fought for civil rights. I fought for voting rights. I fought for women's rights in the 70s. But now, it is your turn. And so don't stay home. Do what you have to do. Tell your mamas, your sisters, your aunties, whoever will listen, that there is nothing more important than letting your voices be known in November of this year. I want you to applaud me for that statement. Now, my second tip. My second tip before I get to talking about the importance of really what it means to stay connected, I do want to say one more thing about staying informed. I want you to stay informed in very, very practical ways. I want you to stay connected to this labor market. I don't want you just to figure out how to get a job. I want you to invest in careers for the future and know how to do it. And I want you to do your homework when you go on those job interviews. I don't want you to be like an applicant that I heard about just very recently, who went to this interview at Frito-Lay. And as he came into the office of the interviewer said to this person, would you like a drink before we get started? And he said, sure, I'd love a Coca-Cola. Well, Clyde and I love that response. For those of you who don't know it, Frito-Lay is owned by Pepsi-Cola. So make sure you don't make it easy for someone to fire you before you get the job first, okay? Do your homework. And now the importance of just staying connected. You know, the first 3 rules of real estate are location, location, location. And the first 3 rules of the job market are network, network, network. Do you know 3 out of 5 jobs today come from who you know. It comes from hearing about it through that informal network, through relationships. And this is before they ever get posted online. So make sure that you keep your connections, keep your relationships, and find the time to develop those networks wherever you are. This college has done a great job of helping you stay connected these past 4 years. And I hope now that you will be good alumni and that you will continue to make an investment in this institution and continue to keep those connections and join the ranks of great women from Agnes Scott. And for those of you who already have those jobs at IBM and Georgia Pacific and Ernst & Young and Morgan Stanley, and those of you who are going on to medical school, to law school, and all the wonderful paths that you've already chosen, know the importance of building those relationships, seeking out role models. Find people who will teach you, who will inspire you, who will encourage you. And that is especially important for women and for people of color. And they are relationships that will carry you and sustain you literally for a lifetime. And so that's the thunder telling me to get to my third point. And my third point, my final point, is that I want you to stay encouraged. You know, it's very difficult to find ways to fill ourselves with courage so that we can respond to all of the stresses and calls of life today, especially those of you who are mature graduates who are already in the world of work and coming back to get your degree today. Know the importance of surrounding yourself with positive people and understand that anxieties and insecurities come from taking risk. You will feel that because of the new paths that you are forging. But the more you do it, the better it's going to feel. I was born to a single mom who went back to school when I was just 3 years of age. And she instilled in me a belief to have real confidence in myself, the power of education. And she taught me really to believe that I could be anything that I wanted to be. And so when I graduated from Xavier, I went back to Mobile, very excited, very enthusiastic, and yet I was turned down for job after job after job. I remember there was this one bank executive who I thought really wanted to hire me. And he kept looking at me and he said, "Miss Herman, I really would like to give you a job." He said, "Maybe I can hire you to be a clerk here at the bank. Maybe I can hire you to be a typist." And he said, "If you are really lucky, maybe I could hire you to be a secretary." Well, Clyde, I would love to know where that bank executive is today, because I'd love to be able to turn to him and say, "Sir, I did become a secretary, a United States Secretary of Labor." So if I can do it, you can do it. You can go anywhere and be anything that you want to be in life. But remember, there are no dress rehearsals for life, and you may have to ad-lib a few scenes along the way. But listen to your hearts. Lead with your souls. Follow your dreams. Understand that your family bolsters you, that your family and your friends are your foundation, and that your faith really guides you. And if you do this, and march always, always to the beat of justice, then you will not only have climbed the ladder of success, but you graduates, the class of 2016, you would have made the singular difference. And so may God continue to bless you on your journey. May he continue to bless you for what you have already done. And together, let us go forward to make the promise of this country and our world not simply the promise, but the practice for all of us. God bless you. Thank you.